What is up, my friends? Welcome to another video. In this special segment, we are going to talk about why billionaires don't use bank accounts at all, and if they do, they're using them completely different than us. Well, if rich people aren't putting their money in bank accounts, what are they doing with their money? I'm going to cover that at the end of this video, so stay tuned, stick with me till the end of this thing. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the average that you get per year and things like savings accounts, CDs. We're going to talk about inflation a little bit and why that just does not make sense. I think most people don't fundamentally understand this. The interesting thing about this is that this is stuff that should be taught in like grade school, maybe junior high. I don't know. I think grade school would be enough. I mean, kind of putting two and two together at that point. So it should be taught alongside of math. Like there should be some sort of financial teaching and education, and we all know why there's not. But when most people hear about this, when they don't even understand that this is how it actually works and how their purchasing power is diluted every single year with inflation. But also too, once you start to kind of see these numbers, you'll understand why the billionaires and rich, uber rich would never ever put their money in a savings account. Okay, and we're gonna finish it up with what they do instead. So if you like this video already with the topics we're gonna cover, go ahead and smash the like button and let's go. Okay, so I dug up this site. I don't even know like how legit bankrate.com is. I don't visit it at all. It's kind of like a glorified shell site that has all these deals worked out with banks, and these are all like affiliate links essentially that you click through, and that's why this advertising disclosure is right here, because they are some sort of deal that this site works out with them. So they've basically created this shell site over the top that just essentially houses affiliate links. That's all this is. And there's these types of sites in every single industry. So it's not a bad thing. It's just understand what you're looking at. Like when you click through these links, they're going to place the cookie or however they're tracking this to send you to that site. So check this out, by the way. Best savings accounts for 2019. Like these actually aren't that bad. I was like getting ready to do this video with like Chase and Bank of America and Wells Fargo, which has like the shittiest rates you can imagine. So these are some of the good rates, like 2.5%, 2.4%. This My Savings Direct, I have no clue who the fuck they are, but they actually have no minimums on their savings accounts. So if you wanted to take the chance, you could actually collect 2.4% per year. And then there's restrictions with all the other ones, essentially. Okay, so let's come to that, back to that in just a second. Let's start off with good old Chase. Okay, I actually still have Chase bank accounts, unfortunately. Premier Savings. This is the interest rates. Annual percentage yield on this is 0.04. So that's 4/100ths of a percent. Premier Standard Rates is 1/100th of a percent. So pretty crappy rates. Now, especially when you start to see like what inflation is, you just realize that people could never survive with this. And just how long it would take to get ROI with these numbers is absolutely insane. We'll do the math here though, so don't worry. And also too, let's look at the amount of money that it requires. And so the tie-up period is like basically you got to have this balance in there all the time. That's what this means. And the rate doesn't get that much better. It doesn't change until when you're over 50,000, it changes. Then it changes again where at 250. Yeah, so it changes at 15 and 250. So imagine just having $50,000 tied up in a savings account and making 7/100ths of a percent every single year. It's absolutely absurd to me. On Bank of America, I couldn't actually find their savings account information, but I found their CDs. It's just not looking a whole lot better here. Term 12 months here, 28 days to 10 years. The 10 years is where this 0.75% is probably coming in. So they'll hold on to your money for 10 years and you'll get a sweet 0.75% essentially. And minimum deposit, $10,000 here. So you got to keep 10 grand tied up for 7/100ths of a percent and 1,000 here. And what is this 1 and 2? Let's go to these guys. What are these guys doing? Here we go. Annual percentage yield is accurate as of 3/11. So they change this every single day, by the way, which is pretty standard. Featured CDs have a 12-month term. We may limit the amount of you deposit in one or more featured CDs to a total of 1 million. Oh my God, why would you put $1 million into a CD? Jesus. My grandma would be like ripping her hair out right now with me. But Jay, you don't understand the power of a CD. Everyone gets a CD. All right, and lastly, let's go to the last insanity here. Wells Fargo, as if they weren't a total joke at this point, and people running out the front door. But you could get, I don't even know what the percent, the APY is on these. it's probably awful. We can assume it's in line with Bank of America and Chase, right? I think that's fair. Minimum opening deposit, $25. The thing you got to look for, and I didn't even show this on these because there are for both of these, there is a monthly fee. Doesn't show it here. There is a monthly fee on a lot of this stuff. $5 service fee, $12 service fee. If you're getting $12 a month fee, that's $144 per year. How are you going to make any money off of that? The interest rate doesn't even absorb the fee. What are you going to do? $5 monthly fee, so what is that, $60 a year? Okay, that was on the last page, so if I go back, balance beginning of the day, 300 or more, 15,000 or more. Okay, you'll get paid. You'll get charged a $25 fee in their Premier Savings every month unless you keep $15,000 in there. And $300 if you want to save the $5 a month monthly fee. But how do they word this? A balance at the beginning of each day of $300 or more in this account, or at least one repeating automatic transfer of $25, or with a linked Chase Premier plus checking or Chase Sapphire checking, which are like they're higher up, or account owner who is younger than 18, or same thing. Okay, so, I think we'd be splitting hairs a little bit to really like leveraging this fee. Let's just assume that you've got this thing worked out smooth as can be, and there's no monthly fees, okay? And I think that's being really generous. Okay, so let's come back here, and you saw the bottom of the barrel. Your main players are not gonna give you the best rates, but apparently we got some guys who will. Okay, best rate. Citibank, not really heard of them either. 2.545%, 25,000 minimum balance, or $100 a month deposit to earn that APY. Okay, in order to get that on a savings builder account, you need a minimum of $25,000 balance, or open the account with at least $100 and make $100 monthly deposits. If you have under $25,000 or don't make monthly deposits of $100, you'll earn a variable rate, which is currently 1.17%. Still not bad, right? You're like, Jay, man, this is pretty good. This is like between 1 and 2.5%. This is looking pretty good. Sit tight. I got something for you. ATM access isn't available for this account, so you need to transfer money linked to a linked account. ATM access, checking account with ATM access, withdraw funds from it. I don't know what they're trying to say there. Maybe I'm reading it too fast. I've never heard of them. My Savings Direct. Immigrant Bank was founded in 1850. I guess that's supposed to make you feel better, right? But hey, no minimum balance, okay? I don't know how they're getting around that. I don't know what they're doing there. I'd love to read the fine print on that one because I'm not buying it, but I'm just being pessimistic. So let's assume that this is all true, and that's the deal. Okay, 2.39% dollar minimum. That's pretty good. USA has a great combination of one of the highest savings average yields, one of the lowest minimum balances, which is $1. You can make an external transfer to an account owned by you at another bank during the first 30 days of account opening. External transactions in CIBC Bank, USA Net Banking aren't available. If you'd like to move money within 30 days, you have the ability to contact CIBC via phone. Then you got Citi coming in next, 2.39, minimum, zero minimum balance. The account carries a monthly service charge of $4.50. The fee may be waived by maintaining a balance of $500 or more. The account is also available in only 41 states. Full list of qualifying states. Citizens access. So you're getting it, $5,000 minimum here to earn it. So okay, you're like, well, this is looking pretty good. We got some serious players here that are earning us 1 to 2%. We're in the money, right? Not necessarily. Now let's bring inflation into the equation. And this is where I think a lot of people really get lost. So we're going to work off of 2018. January of 2019, it was 1.6% so far, but 2018 is going to be a better indicator. So the average for 2018 was 2.44% inflation rate. What that means is that you would have to spend 2.44% more money in 2018. Okay, so something that cost $1 is now going to cost $1.02. It's that simple. And also what that means is that when we're talking about interest earned on our money, then if we're getting 0.03, 0.01, 0.07, the math still isn't adding up. You see, we're losing money at the end of the year with your typical Chase and Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Now with some of these other players, you're not. It's actually working out flush. So you are just wiping out essentially inflation. So what's the difference like between this and doing nothing? And especially in comparison to like what you could actually get going with your money if you kept your money moving and kept your money liquid. It's an absolute joke. And then if you look at the rate in which they charge you, we're looking at interest rates that that range, okay? But let's say, I'm gonna assume most people don't have a great credit score. If you don't have a great credit score, you're looking at 20 to 25%. So they're making money hand over fist. If they're charging you 25% and you're only making, let's say 2%, what is the range here in terms of years to catch these two up? So with an interest rate that high, they're doubling their money in 4 to 7 years? And then how long would it take you to double your money? I actually think that's over 2,000 years with the chase and these rates of this 0.03 to 0.07. I actually think that'd be over 2,000 years, which is a really, really long time. At 2%, it's still not looking good. So even at 2%, what is that, like 50 years to double your money? That's not that good. I think the average yearly interest or ROI that people expect is about 5%. Isn't that like a low standard number? 7% being like a little bit on the high end of what to expect to make on in terms of your returns. So we're not even at like the bare minimum in the accepted amount of yearly return, right? What does the rich do then? What do billionaires do? They're obviously not doing this shit, because I'll tell you what, they wouldn't be sitting around for half a lifetime for a piddly 100% on their money. They can do way better than that, way quicker. So what are they doing? Well, they're just keeping their money moving. That's the best way I can describe this, and the simplest way to describe this. They're keeping their money moving. They're keeping it liquid. They're investing, pulling out profits and reinvesting into people, into companies, into assets, into things that will grow their bottom line. And this whole little snowball starts to build up speed and momentum and really turn into an avalanche as time goes on. So this is things like cryptocurrency, this is things like the stock market, this is things like personal funding, even P2P lending if you're on a smaller scale. But these big guys, they're owning institutional banks, they're owning stocks and shares in institutional banks. So they've got their money constantly moving. And another big one that I might talk about more later on down the road, but it'd be a self-directed IRA or a self-directed 401k. Now, currently right now, a self-directed IRA is capped at $6,000 per year. Self-directed 401k, you can do a lot more with that. There are restrictions as to what you can do with that, but we can assume that big players like this is what they're doing with their money. Billionaires, they might be owning banks. Millionaires, 100 millionaires, 50 millionaires, that sort of level, they're doing stuff like this. They're keeping their money moving, they're keeping it as liquid as possible, and constantly just snowballing that forward, rolling that forward, using things like self-directed 401ks, IRAs, things like that. They've gone through and set the entire foundation up for their own sort of, I guess you could say, family bank. And I think that's important to note, because most people listening to this, they're going to think, man, this is too hard. How do I do it? This is outside of my scope of achievability. This is too hard. I need too much money. And really, I started going through these things after I was successful with online marketing, and a lot of this stuff isn't that hard. Yes, you got to really be careful with the people that you get, because there's a lot of idiots out there, people that will just take your money and they don't exactly know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's not like we're building rocket ships. It's not that difficult. I can't stress that enough, actually, that this stuff isn't terribly hard to do. All right, that's it, my friends. If you like this video, you like what we just covered, come on, smash that thumbs up button. We need you. We need your support. Doing that helps tip the algorithms, get us more traffic, get more eyeballs on this. If you like this, you want to share it with friends or family, show them how this basic math of inflation versus, savings account APYs just doesn't add up. If you got parents, grandparents who are diehard CD and savings account fans, show them this, show them that the math doesn't add up and that the savings accounts are absolute, utter bullshit. And let's move into something newer, something that's going to keep the money moving like the rich do. If you're brand new to the channel and you like what we're doing, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get more notifications from us. If you got something to say, go ahead and place a comment underneath this video. Love to hear from you. And be on the lookout. We got more great videos dropping soon, my friends. Bye.